There are now 44 confirmed monkeypox cases in the state as of August 4th. That's according to the Minnesota Department of Health. CCX News reporter Sarah Tamer has more from Hennepin County health officials.
It's really difficult to be an expert in monkeypox right now. It feels like we're learning something new every single day.
At a monkeypox press conference Thursday, Hennepin County's public health clinic Red Door explained its response to the outbreak.
The outbreak that we're seeing here in Minnesota mirrors what's happening nationally, where we're seeing a rise in cases.
Minnesota saw its first case of monkeypox June 24th. Since then, Hennepin County has been working with the state health department to provide testing and vaccines to those at high risk.
Anyone can get monkeypox, but it just so happens it's circulating right now among men who are sexual with men.
Health officials say the virus is spread person to person through prolonged skin-to-skin contact.
The biggest thing that we're seeing clinically as a sexual health clinic is skin lesions. They can be anywhere on the body, but we're most commonly seeing them on or around the genitals.
Other symptoms include fever, chills, body aches, or swollen lymph nodes. Health providers say monkeypox can also be spread through clothing, bedding, or towels used by someone who is infected, but it's less likely.
We're really focused on that kind of direct skin-to-skin contact. So we're not worried about your risks from walking down the street or standing next to people in line or being out at concerts where people are clothed.
Health providers can only test for monkeypox if a rash is present. If someone tests positive, they'll help anonymously notify potential contacts. The vaccine, called Jynneos, is meant to prevent or minimize the severity of monkeypox. A medication called T-pox is only used to treat severe cases. Similar to COVID, patients with symptoms should isolate and wear a mask.
We want people to know what the symptoms are. We don't want them to panic. We just want them to know that we're here, we have care, we can diagnose and test and treat.
In Minneapolis, Sarah Tamer, CCX News.
The Hennepin County Health Department is advising people to call its main line for any questions related to testing, vaccines, or medication. So far, there have been no hospitalizations or deaths in the state. An Anoka man who was already accused with the murder of a Brooklyn Center woman now faces an additional charge for allegedly shooting and killing the dog owned by another woman. As CCX News reported on Wednesday, Michael Klinger is charged with second-degree murder for the shooting death of 34-year-old Katie Fredrickson of Brooklyn Center. A criminal complaint describes Klinger as the victim's off-again, on-again boyfriend. Now, a new charge filed Wednesday accuses Klinger of killing another ex-girlfriend's dog. A separate complaint filed says Klinger suddenly appeared on a sidewalk in Minneapolis where he found the woman, pulled out a gun, and shot the dog. The alleged animal torture crime happened 4 days before the Brooklyn Center murder. Meanwhile, Brooklyn Park police shot and killed a stray dog that they say first attacked and injured an animal control officer before attacking a police officer. According to police, an animal control officer responded to a complaint of 2 stray dogs that had jumped a fence and were causing problems for employees of a power company who were working near the 6700 block of 65th Avenue. The animal control officer was bit in the leg and needed emergency assistance. When police and paramedics arrived, police say the same dog attacked an officer, causing that officer to shoot the animal. The dog died at the scene. Police say the animal control officer was taken to the hospital but is expected to make a full recovery. The incident remains under investigation. The Golden Valley City Council has approved financial incentives to retain and hire police officers. The approval came without discussion at this week's council meeting. According to city documents, the incentives approved came about as a result of an agreement reached with 3 police officer unions. The incentives include $10,000 that would go to each new officer hired before the end of the year. In addition, the city would pay out $10,000 for each sworn officer on staff. The documents state the incentives will, quote, help the city recruit and retain officers in light of local and national officer shortages. The Northwest Metro has a wide array of restaurants and grocery stores featuring food and ingredients from other cultures. Now, the Minneapolis Northwest Tourism Group wants to give people an opportunity to experience the culinary offerings with a unique event.
I think it's always important to be open-minded when it comes to foods.
In Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center, it's not hard to find places offering food from regions well beyond Minnesota's borders. Yet despite the different options, it's not always easy to branch out, especially when you have to cook the food yourself.
I think there is a little bit of a fear in trying new things.
Tracy Figueroa is a culinary instructor at Hennepin Tech, and she's on a mission to help people get out of their food rut.
It's oftentimes really neat to be able to introduce a new ingredient, even to a dish that you typically make and use as a substitution, that will just make the dish super dynamic, just change the flavors completely by changing one ingredient.
Next week, she plans to introduce people to some of those ingredients and the businesses that sell them. Hennepin Tech has partnered with Minneapolis Northwest Tourism on an event called the World Flavors Culinary Tour.
There'll be a huge array of techniques and methods that you'll learn to cook, not only things that we cook in our American kitchens, but techniques used and ingredients used all over the world.
One of the items on the itinerary is a watermelon ginger punch. The recipe comes courtesy of a former student from Africa.
I'm going to start with my ginger first.
All you have to do is peel and grate a knob of ginger, slice up a half of seedless watermelon, blend it all together, and you have a refreshing drink.
I would definitely use a lime wedge to garnish this.
It's just one example of what someone can do if they have an open mind about food.
This is our first time hosting the event. We're hoping it's the first of many.
The World Flavors Culinary Tour takes place August 11th through 13th. Tickets start at $599 and include lodging.